Seduction, sex, lifestyle. For the true player at heart, Global SLR presents The Real Kings of Pickup. Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Be the best and fuck the rest.
All right, everyone. Welcome to another kick-ass episode of The Real Kings of Pickup. We just had a phenomenal weekend. So packed. Presentation on Friday. Thanks to everyone that came in person. Then the Alpha Attraction, a one-time only event. I was just now with a gentleman who attended, and he said the strength that came from this event was unlike anything. A blast in field, as always, and then we spent the entire day filming for two projects, the Natural Born Seducer documentary, as well as the upcoming movie in which both Arash and myself have the main parts, so quite an experience. And brother, I know you were driving, so here with me, Arash motherfucking Dibazar. That every time you come to Hollywood, you bring so much strength to the experience to everybody. It was phenomenal. How are you, brother? You still on the road, or you made it back?
Yeah, we're still driving, so I'm going to get cut out. It was an incredible weekend. It was very, very filled with events and things, and I think you and I killed it on every level. So let's kill it again on this podcast. If anybody, we're ready to start, let's start.
Yeah, and I once again, because, you know, something needs to be voiced. It's so phenomenal. Somebody has to say it. That's one of my openers with girls. If really something stands out. But dear brother, everybody present is still mesmerized by your acting skills. And I know you often refer to your teacher and your acting experience, and yet I got to witness it, and we had chills, and wow, that was unlike anything I've ever witnessed. So genuinely, really, it was phenomenal for everybody to know that your acting skills is just surreal.
Thank you. That's owed to my teacher, Manu Paul, and I've said this many times, you know. There are a few things I'm very good at in life, and I don't, people can't understand my skills in acting yet, but I was taught by the greatest acting coach that ever lived, and I was one of his top students, you know, if not the top student. So, yeah, I think that the world will see it. It has a lot to do with being, you know, the greatest seduction artist on the planet. Has to do with that. Everything I do has to do with that, because Manu was the one who started my process. So when I get into the acting, then we get to see it in its raw essence, and then how it translates to everything else. So it was a lot of fun, and, you know, I appreciate that you guys appreciated it, so that's cool.
And you know, three things to make it even more specific. Number one was the intensity of it was so great that it personally took me a while to come out of that character. Through the afternoon, I still had little symptoms of like, oh, fuck, you know, almost as the character was so intense that in the part, it's a threat, and I still felt the threat for several hours fading afterwards. The second thing that was spectacular is you tapped into mannerism and behavior for that character that I know you're not primarily familiar with, and yet I've been exposed to people who have those characters, and you took it into details, almost like a psychologist could really understand the behavior, how you were using something like the breathing exercise, or so some common understanding, but kind of tweaking them into that basic understanding. That anyway. So I thought that was really, really, really phenomenal. And there was a third thing, but it escaped me right now because I'm still very sleep deprived from this weekend. So I apologize. And yet I wanted to outline that. So how are things on your side, brother? We take questions right away, or you wanted to?
Yeah, let's take questions, brother.
Okay. So, gentlemen, you know the drill. It will be brief, about 30 minutes. So please start asking your questions.
Hey, I have a question, guys. how easy do you think it is to catch an STD by being a pickup artist, and what are some ways to prevent getting STDs by fucking a lot of girls?
I don't want to prove on that. It's easy to understand STDs. Use a condom when you fuck, and use a condom when you fuck. Before you kiss her, look at her fucking lips. If there's any bumps, don't fucking kiss her. Outside of that, just be aware, you know. I'm STD free, and I've kissed a lot of women. I've fucked a lot of women, but I'm STD free, and that's just the way it is. So if you're not careful, you'll get a disease. If you're careful, you won't. But there's no guarantee, you know. But I use a condom every day, all day, fucking with everybody, including my girlfriend. And if I see a slight fucking bump on somebody's fucking lips, stay the fuck away from me. I am not touching.
I think it's simple that there is a higher answer to that in really mastering pickup. Because one thing that could be a factor would be neediness, desperation. Your mind knows better. You sense something. You can tell that the girl is probably not clean, and you make an exception. You don't have condoms, but you're so needy you still want to fuck, or you are with a girl who tells you, oh, but you know, I'm on the pill, I love you, no, if you care about me, and you violate your own rule. That's first page of my book, Same Night Sex, Safe Sex Only. So the core of that is neediness. So the bigger risk factor than the concern of STD, if that's a concern, is neediness. You got to eradicate neediness. So it's easy for you to pass when your mind is telling you not to, and you don't violate your own rules. You also are less likely to end up with girls who are not clean because you're working with a more abundant mentality. Okay? So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would focus more on strengthening yourself so you're solid with your own rules, you don't violate them, you don't become needy, you pass when there's signs of something. There's one small aspect. You got to be careful when you voice things like that because people could take it backwards. But along with the other key factor, my own personal experience has shown me that it's got to do with immunity, it's got to do with basic health principles. Meaning, when it's not so much of a concern and you're intelligent about it, then you're less likely to catch it. There's a big guilt factor that has to do at a metaphysical level with STD. Okay? That's why the gay community was so prone to STD initially. Okay? Because of the guilt factor. It's faded now because there's less guilt around it. I've witnessed women who were absolutely fine being a bit promiscuous and they remained STD free. And I've witnessed women who made exceptions and then felt guilty about it. And sure enough, what followed was an STD. That is not the only thing. It'd be foolish to proclaim that or to listen to that. But it's also a part of it. Okay? So what's your mindset? Next question.
Oh, hey guys, I have a quick question. It's Shane from Canada. Where do you place giving a woman an orgasm on your scale of importance when you're with her?
If you're going to have anything sexual to do with her, number one is the bitch. Otherwise, don't do it. You know? So, either don't do anything sexual with her, but if you do, she needs to orgasm. You know, unless it's like your girlfriend and she's not orgasming, then there's a whole other fucking thing going on over there. But if it's like a new girl or something like that, I would say in my book, it's number one. You know, women go off of feelings. So, you know, many women don't orgasm, just so you know. They don't even know they don't orgasm. But when you give them an orgasm, then they know. And after that, it's a lot easier to have the leverage that you want. Because they're going off feeling. But that orgasm feels good. So for me, it's either nothing sexual, but if it's going to get sexual, orgasm, bitch. Okay? Because that just means you're comfortable too, your mind is open, your body's open. Your heart is open, and if all those areas are not open, then fuck off. That's my answer.
With that, keep in mind also that the syntax in your own mind, number one, that she orgasms, and yet she needs to understand the syntax that if for whatever reason she is not initially, she is the source of her not orgasming. So, because the moment you start to feel, oh shit, I'm not making her orgasm, okay? Unless it really inspires you in the moment and you turn into a fucking monster and you do whatever you can, then the odds of you being able to do that diminishes. So don't start to burden yourself as if it's your fault. And you see the opposite. You see also sometimes a guy takes long to come and he's not coming, and the girl starts to think that it's happening because of her. It's not the healthiest thing. So, and then be resourceful, okay? It's easy to make a woman orgasm once you know techniques like making her squirt. You can even get close to fucking fisting her. You can, there's so many techniques, fast ways to make a woman come. And then you teach her, and then you become the source of that. And she won't be able to get it from other men. There's porn stars telling me like that I have a technique to make them squirt that they have never seen. Once we were at AVN, and they had this little bracelet to check out like how quickly you would make somebody squirt, and one of the students put it on my wrist, and I moved my wrist and it turned green within seconds. So find out about those things. Happy to help you with that. Next question. Good questions tonight.
Hello, Vince.
Yes?
Vince. Andy from Houston. How are you, buddy?
Hey, how are you, man?
Good,
You know,
good,
as a trainer in training, you're entitled to come to Pickup Academy. It's right around the corner. So
yeah.
A trainer in training, but put it in the book. But we can talk about that, you and I, in private. Give me a call. It's been a while. What's your question?
Sure. Well, just a quick thing. You know, it's like some type of girls. I mean, I just don't have any problem doing anything, but some type, you know, this is about performance I'm talking about. But some types I just have problem performing. So I'm
it's a little difficult to follow you. Okay?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's not a matter of hearing you. It's a matter that you stack words with no difference between the way you say them. So.
Okay. So I'll slow it down. I said, you know, I have problems performing with some types of girls, but not with other types of girls. So I'm just thinking probably it has to do with the inner game.
Go ahead and ask your question. What's your question?
Okay, the question is performing in bed. With some types of girls I have problems, with the other types I don't. I'm just curious, what's going on there?
I can't answer that. I don't know what's going on there, you know, but I can tell you that you said that there's some girls you don't have a problem with, right?
Yeah.
So some girls you have a problem with, some girls you don't have a problem. Okay, great. So hook up with the girls you don't have a problem with then. And the girls you have a problem with, well, there you go. You have a fucking problem with them. You know, I remember one time there was an incredibly hot girl, like retarded hot, right? And then I just could not, you know? And I just looked at her, I said to her, there's something wrong with you, nothing wrong with me. You should have seen her face. I said, because but I meant it. I said, I've been with a lot of women. And I go, the fact that my body is reacting this way to you, and you look like that? I said, I don't know, you should go get checked for a disease or something. She goes, how dare you? I said, no, I'm being serious with you. There's something really wrong here. I go, I know me. And the way my body is reacting is almost repulsed right now. And I don't get what the fuck's happening. Go get checked, or if you're here to fuck with me or fuck with my life, that shit ain't gonna happen. So please leave. That was the last time I talked to her. And, I mean, maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong, but I don't give a shit. You said some people you have a problem with, some people you don't. Well, spend your time with people you don't have a problem with and avoid the ones you do. That's my answer.
Okay. Thank you.
Brilliant. Yeah. Guys, it brings one key point back. You omitting the fact that it depends on them a lot. That you start to become more aware of it if you sleep with 3-4 different girls the same day. Whenever that happens, there's always one girl that is way more exciting, and it's the same me. And sometimes it's not the first one. Sometimes it's the fourth one, and maybe the third one. I was starting to be in my own head thinking like, oh wow, I fucked too much today. I cannot really get it up. And by the fourth one, my dick is super hard. So I go, okay, then it wasn't me. It was the third one. It has a lot to do with chakras, energy flow. Some women shut down their sexuality, awareness of their sexuality. Okay? It's also, you know, some women, you start to caress them a certain way. They begin to shiver, and their response is to give back. So now the energy is flowing between the two of you. Some women, you caress them the same way. They're not in tune. The same way if you start to talk about, describe a landscape, some people are going to look at you, go, oh yeah? And others are going to be there in that landscape. Some women, they will not feel it. So there's three levels. Are they able to be sufficiently in tune themselves to process it, to process what you send towards them? And are they able to give it back in their own way? That's the prime category. Second category, they can feel it, but they don't give back. They're used to only being done onto. And they don't really respond strongly, so they don't do much. And the third category, they cannot feel it, so of course they cannot give it back. So you simply, like Arash said, you got the answer right there. And everybody listening, make sure that you remind yourself that silly frame of pickup thinking that every girl is the same, and if it doesn't happen, it's you. No, oftentimes it's her. She's not rich enough. She's a little bit retarded. I would like to bring a key point, and I would like to also pass kind of that point to Arash, because we just were teaching the event. Brother, tell me what you think of that. You know how much we gave, and suddenly yesterday, as I was ready to finally rest, I had a series of clients. And then same thing today, this morning, this afternoon. Now, what's interesting is that right after a weekend, and we hear it also in your questions tonight, guys, the difference in the frame and the mindset between those who were there and those who were not there. And we can state that before an event, but right after the event. It's always so obvious to me how much those who were not there, whether in person or live stream, are wrestling at a level that is so far below what they could experience. And then it makes it very obvious that lack of information, first-hand information in person, of a reference, of seeing it done in action, of the exchange of energy that takes place, which can only happen in person to that degree, you know, the reference to witness it is so obvious. So I very genuinely say that to urge you guys, because there we are with guys sharing information, seeing their eyes pop up and witnessing the change for them. And then we go from that to starting a phone conversation with someone who is very well intended, the same, probably as capable as anybody who came in person, but stuck in a rut because of lack of information. What do you think of that, brother? Have you had that contrast also of there we are alive with some guys, and then suddenly somebody sends you a question online? I'm sure you do. So, but what's your take? I'd be curious.
I think that there's a gap being created between the students who are studying this art and science and the ones who are not. And it's becoming very obvious. You know, a handful of people, two handful of people, maybe a dozen people are starting to really see the results because they're committing themselves. Everybody else, you're just running around chasing your own tail like a crazy dog. You know, it's really sad. It's really, really sad to see it because, I mean, I get it. I get it at the same time, and that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. But there's such a difference. There's such a difference. I mean, we truly live in another world. And it's not because we were born so fucking good looking or we were born so fucking rich, you know, or we were born and God was like, I'm just going to smile on these two and give them some women. It's just not that. We have fucking skills. And the guys that were there at the event, they saw it. Every single time I went to go grab a water or a fucking chips or something, I came back with a phone number. I came back with a girl. I came back with the pictures, and I mean, it was unreal. By the end of the night, they saw that I was coming up the elevator, got the girl's number, mentioned who she was, mentioned what she looked like, mentioned what she was wearing, and then by 7 p.m. she texted me. By 8 p.m. she was sitting on the fucking table with me. By 9:30 p.m. she was in the lecture with us. And I introduced her as the girl I picked up by the elevator, and she said absolutely true. She was with us till around 2:33 a.m. I actually gave her to my friends. Like, we do that. I was like, you stay in this room with him, I'm going to fucking leave. And the next day I saw a picture or a video of him and her and another girl. And he messaged me. Like, that's actually what went down this weekend. You know, and forget if you haven't seen Vince and I together, then just fucking forget about it. So from that to what Vince is saying this, it's such a huge contrast. It's like flying a jet plane over the weekend and then coming back and people are like, okay, now you're going to run a sprint race. And the speed is just fucking unreal. So you got to get it together. You know, it's obviously important for you if you're on this podcast, right, to learn this stuff. It's obviously an issue for you. And it's not just an issue for you, it's an issue for every fucking man, from presidents to janitors. It doesn't make a difference. Every man wants to understand the female dynamic, male-female dynamic. But you're not getting it, a lot of you, because you're not investing in yourself properly. Okay? Show up to these fucking events. And what we do is we try to put it online for you so that even if you're in fucking Germany, you still benefit. But if you can show up live, it's just different. You should see the students' eyes. So they bug out when they see this shit. They just look and they're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, how is this even possible? That shit happened to me when I hung out with Mystery Matador. That's why I'm here today. I saw something in my own eyes that was just supernatural. And I realized that I wanted this more than anything else in life. And no matter what I had in life, this would be something that would always kick my ass. Well, I got it. And that's what you guys are going through. So get it together, man. That's how I feel good.
And you know, you said the word it's sad. And for me, of course, there's always the imbeciles out there that are not really getting it, and I don't think they'll ever get it. You know, there's quite a few. But I voice this for the guys that are very genuine about it. But you just have that mental omission that you don't have elsewhere. Elsewhere, for example, if you be like, man, I need to be in touch with this company. They're in Australia, but I won't be able to do it if I send them a letter. Then you get online, right? Then you get a fucking app and you can communicate with them. There, there's nothing holding you back, making you think, oh yeah, but how else can I communicate with them? What if I take a boat? To the world, it's obvious. Get a fucking cell phone, a laptop, subscribe, and your life is ridiculously easier. So, for me, I don't do sadness, but it does make me sad when I see a well-intended gentleman, like many of you on this call, who will go a little bit the distance, but omits the key factor that the recognition how important it is for you, that it doesn't have to be the way you thought it was, and that there is no miracle pill, there's no one answer other than experience it. And when we experience it, each time, you know, I used to be the guy who would go to all the self-help seminars. I would spend every one of my weekends, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. If I heard they were far, I would go because I knew how it was impacting me. And thank God I did that. At this point, because I'm in the position of being guru now, I still experience that by gathering with Arash. Every time we gather, it's a higher level. And the magic, you know, brother, what's funny is that Pinky was bringing me because she brought me a girl that was kind of psychotic not too long ago. So she wanted to bring me that girl. And both of us, you and I, when she arrived, so this girl that I hang out with, I've known her for years and so on, brings me a girl. And the response of Arash and I was we both disliked the girl right away. Beautiful, but really weird attitude. Instead of being genuine when she was introduced to me, I could tell she was uncomfortable, she was shy, and she did something weird that right away I was like, ah. But the funny thing is that you were so impactful that when they called later that morning, still partying somewhere, I found out that part of the request was that girl was like asking about you. So that's how fucking impactful you are.
Yeah, she told me. Because I got 5 missed calls in the morning. And I called her. So then she texted me later. She said that girl, Lindsay, wanted you to show up. She wanted to hang out with you. And that girl shows up. She's very pretty. She's basically being gifted to Vince, you could say. Super hot blonde chick. And actually Vince not talking to her. So I approached Vince I'd already had a girl there. And I said, Vince, is that your chick or what's up with this? Vince is like, no, man, forget about that. I don't want it. Like, basically, it's fine. I said, cool, then I'm going to talk to her. So I start talking to her, and she's just a fucking bitch. And I put this bitch in her fucking place. If you guys have ever seen me do this shit, it is a little bit intense. And all I can tell you, when it was my turn to say what I had to say to her in front of people, I looked at her with very intense eyes and intense tone. Vince knows now my acting skills, and, you know, I can do this. I looked at her and I said, who the fuck do you think I am, bitch? And this is a pretty little white girl, you know? And I said, who the fuck do you think I am? I said, you better change your fucking attitude, take a fucking hike. You're in my circle here, bitch. Don't get me wrong. Don't you fucking get me wrong, bitch. Okay? I'm doing you a fucking favor talking to you with your shitty fucking attitude. Turn the fuck around. Don't even look at me, ho. And I turned around. By the end of the night, she comes out of the fucking... Oh, so her friend that brings her comes to me. And she goes, what happened there? I said, she's a fucking bitch. Get her the fuck out of here. And she was like, oh, she's my guest. I said, she's your guest. She's not my guest. She's not my fucking guest. You go be nice to her over there. So then they go to the bathroom. The bitch comes back, walks past me, smiles real big, waves. And I looked at her like, what the fuck, psycho? She goes on the other side, and now she's eyeing me the whole fucking time. So I'm like, fuck this. I go back to the girl who brought her. I said, listen, I'm going to give your friend one more fucking opportunity here. But if she fucking acts up, I'm just telling you right now, if she fucking acts up the second time, it's going to be really fucking bad for her. Okay? She goes, okay. So I go over there, and I looked at her. I said, you want to try this again? And she kissed me. Okay, that's a good start. She was pretty. And then talked a little bit more. I realized she was drunk, and that was it. I didn't want to go there at that point. And we let the night go. So the next day, she's calling 5 times. Why? Because she wants to fucking hang out. She was very pretty. And yeah, that's exactly what the fuck happened. And I don't know how we got on this, why you said that, but that's what happened.
Yeah, I think also because of the impact of it. Because I could tell that there's only one person on the planet who could have that impact on a girl like that. And genuinely, brother, it's you. So,
that's very nice.
In the meantime, yeah, no, genuinely, me, I was like, oh. And to witness the turnaround. And also, too many guys go too soft on girls like that. They have it backwards. So, a couple more questions, and then we wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, it's Mitch. I got a question based on what I just heard from you, Arash. I had a girl, it was about a month ago, and she prided herself on beating on men, not beating on, excuse my words, basically putting down men and basically speaking down to men. How would you respond to a bitch like that? What would be an effective response?
Well, let's put it like this. Let's say an analogy. I'm in a new country, and the woman is a princess, and she has the power to say off with his head. How am I going to respond? I'm going to get the fuck out of that country. I'm not fighting her. So it all comes down to value and where the fuck we are and who the fuck I am. You know, this bitch tried to act up in a place where I'm the goddamn king. This is my place, bitch. So it's all in context. It's all in relation to, can she destroy me or not, right? My job as alpha male, or okay, let's put it like this. My job as a shark is to stay in the deep end of the water and bring animals to me. Or my job as a lion is to stay in the jungles and make sure that the animals come to the jungle. Or as an eagle, I need to be 5,000 feet up in the air and hunting them from there. I find myself in my environment all the time. Otherwise, you won't find me. You won't find a shark on land, and you won't find a rock in places where he's not going to make. Look at that. Okay, that was amazing, right? Anyways, what I'm saying is, she finds herself in a place where I hold the cards, and I won't go where I don't hold the cards. Okay, if I do, I'm aware. Like if I frequent a new place, there was a place in San Jose. There was a new bar that I started going there. The building was very cute. It's called Rookies. And in the first 2 months, I barely spoke a word to anybody, but I was establishing myself. Okay. Now when I walk in, the customers there say hi to me and take pictures of me. The girls are done deal. It's a fucking serious business there. So now I've worked myself into a position to have some say if some bitch acts stupid. But it's like a chess game. There's not one set value in every board Okay? Find where you are, hold the power. Like if it's your party, let's say like this, you throw a party, right? The girl comes with her neck slaps, you can tell her, listen, bitch, there's a fucking door, get the fuck out of here. Why? Because it's your house, it's your party. But if you're in her house, her party, and she likes to chew men out or whatever, I know a lot of girls like that, right? Then you can't say anything. She's basically baited you. I was in a house about 3.5 weeks ago where a guy got slapped super hard by a girl. And she was so proud. And she came and told me, she goes, you should see me slap that guy. And I was like, you fucking bitch. I didn't say anything, but I was like, no, I didn't. She goes, but I heard it, because I did hear the slap. And so she was so proud. And then she went out and tried to punch him in front of everybody in this party. This tall black guy, she was punching him, right? Well, I told you this and that. And he's like, sorry. She's like, well, you can just leave. He's like, no, sorry. So, but it was her house. What's he going to do? Kick her out of her house, right? That's how I deal with it.
Mitchell, I want to dissect a little bit. Okay, that's one of my specialties. So to get to the core, almost a form like of hypnotherapy or so on. Like, one key thing is to never link the behavior of an individual around you to you. Don't think that you're the cause of that, because I know you and I can already feel, and I've been there myself, you know, somebody is a little strong, a little harsh, voices something a little surprising. Hear it almost like you're watching TV and it's being said, but you know, not directly to you. That will keep you in your power. Otherwise, you start to be more reactive. So to stay proactive, gentlemen, remember, make the difference between what people do around you and what people do to you. And if you've lived with a woman for 5 years and she makes a statement towards you, there's probably still a huge element of it that has to do with who she is, that she's probably trying to fuck with you. But at the same time, you may have something to do with it. When you're just meeting women, it's a bit more minimal than that. Your part in it. Maybe you triggered that in her, who knows, but she doesn't know you enough. So don't take it personally. The second thing, don't assume that because it's coming out strong, that it is strength. Such strength is not righteous. It's based and rooted on one thing, fear. Like that other girl we were talking about. Right away, I could tell she was operating from fear. She probably got pumped up. We got pumped up by Pinky. Pinky said, yeah, they're my friends, they're this, they're that. And instead of arriving and just relaxing a little bit, she quickly grabbed her weapon, which is what the community would call a bitch shield. But you got to know it's only one thing. It's fear. And then the third key ingredient is you become a follower unless you know you are stronger than her and you have a theory that can disprove it within seconds, or you could go further than her. If really she gets nasty, you know you could go further than her, then you have greater power. If that's not the case, then destabilize by going elsewhere. For example, you just relax, you smile, you go, that's an interesting theory. Tell me more. She's not used to that. She's going to go file not found, and that causes her to start to question herself. Okay? So don't take it personally. Don't be fooled thinking that it's strength, it's weakness that causes her to reach for what is a little strong within her. And then instead of trying to top it or supplicate to it, find where she cannot go. And you remain very calm and very sophisticated and intrigued. So, because she's ready for you to either be destabilized by it, or she's ready for you to go against it. She's not ready for you to stay neutral and be curious. I think that'd be a great technique, maybe not for everybody, but for you, Mitchell. Looking at the time, we have just a few more minutes. A quick announcement, everyone. And then, after that, we take one final question. At the time of this recording, okay, just so those who understand that there is nothing like showing up. Arash will tell you in just a moment. I myself, I'm aiming at being there as a participant, has a spectacular, very exclusive event. When I went to Prometheus, it was an angle like I don't recall hearing that elsewhere. The angle is so fucking unique, and then the impact that it had on me. The impact after that. So It's an absolute must, very exclusive, okay, in San Jose, and that's coming up this weekend. The next thing we have after that is the 7-day training in Los Angeles. It's the 8th year that I'm doing it. It's 7 entire days from morning to evening. We touch on all aspects of life. And that's an event I started 8 years ago. It's called Pickup Academy. It's the summer camp. It's a journey like no other. It's so much fun. We cover so many different ground to play, you know, from the beach to the promenade to party bus, strip clubs, the street, 5-star hotels, pool party on Sunday, bus party on Saturday, table service on Friday, and then we handle inner game in the morning, drills, improvisation, continuing the conversation, pick up A to Z. And what I love about 7 days is 2 things. First, the impact of it. When you immerse yourself for 7 days, you cannot come out the same. You change automatically, no matter how resistant you may be initially. I love the 7-day impact. Okay, that's an amount of time that is magical. Second thing is it helps us to chunk it down. So we don't have to cover it all in just 1 or 2 days. Then we can say, okay, Monday, let's refine your number closing. Let's make you a master at number closing. Tuesday, let's start to do Insta dates. This is how you get a girl to sit with you right away, and so on. So heads up, the price is a sliding scale for this one. I will make one offer for one guy at the end of this recording, and it's currently $777 heading to $1,111, and that's going to change on Thursday. So you have until Thursday to save about $400 to come spend 7 days. I'm there for the whole week myself, teaching nonstop. Arash is joining for the entire weekend, and we're the 2 all-time gurus teaching that, and then some of our best students in the crew, people like Frank White, people like Brian Casella, and so on, are going to be there also. So we touch on fashion, business, fitness, magic, sorcery, and, of course, the main topic, pickup, because that's where it all goes. So, gentlemen, I'll make one offer for one of you guys who's live after the call, and if you're fast enough before Thursday, you can catch it for $777. One last question, then I'll pass it to Arash, and he'll tell you about the event coming up this weekend, and then we wrap up with one last question off recording.
Hey, this is Paul, San Francisco. One thing I've noticed is that if I look away or turn my attention somewhere else while I'm talking, sometimes that kind of pulls her interest in more and the conversation goes longer. So I'm wondering, what does that mean? How can I take things further with that as a dual direction or takeaway or whatever?
I pass this on to you, Vince. Paul, I never see you studying my stuff. I cannot teach you if you don't want to learn from me. You know, I mean, you're asking me the same questions every week, which returns to you with, you don't understand game yet. But Lady Vince will answer you. I'm done.
Okay. Paul, very genuinely. So you're making one little observation. That is something that is, of course, basic. Yes? If you give somebody all of your attention, there's no gravitation towards you because they know they have you already. So don't do that. That, credit for noticing it, although it's been stated a long time ago. Next, you should dive into it. But here's where you start to pollute it. You ask, what does that mean? We don't ask, what does that mean? Okay? That's not pickup. You see the guys that are in a position where they struggle the most with women. The woman moves her little finger, they wonder what it means. So it's not something you want to continue to carry with you. Okay? So if you're going to have another realization this week, your progress will be to not stack on top of it, almost like, okay, something is blossoming, and you quickly shut it down by putting on top of it the concern of what does it mean. It may mean so many fucking different things. And then what to do with it, dive into it, okay? Dive into it. Learn how to really do that well. Now here's a genuine recommendation. I created one program that you don't have, I think, okay? And it's called I think 8 Elements of Sex Appeal. And I break down how to really masterfully draw attention with minimal shifts in your body language and so on. So, if you're serious, get that resource, contact me this week. And what you also must do is further dive into the material. And I don't know why you have that reservation. I don't know. But your struggle will remain the same. And there's going to be a point where, right now, I'm very inclined to be like Arash and say, you already know what to do. Okay? So, it's how you process approaching it that deviates everything from the start. You need to change your attitude about how you process it. It's too tentative, and it keeps you at a place. It's almost like we have this big, beautiful 5-star hotel, and you know about it, and once in a while you enter the lobby, you look around a little bit, but we find you around the corner of the big 5-star hotel where it doesn't smell too good because it's the entry service and a lot of trucks carry the garbage from the kitchen, and you hang in there. So you're close enough, but you don't go in and say, I'm going to own this fucking thing. Okay? You got to decide. Until resolved, you cannot continue to just peek in because you're the one paying the price and you're the one who's suffering from it. And the answer is one answer to all the questions you have. You have not understood that you must dive in with the resolve that you're going to do this until. And it's polluting everything you do and everything that you hear. Because you quickly put a lid on it by asking questions that are non-pickup and so on. Okay, gentlemen, I pass it to Arash to let you know about the event this weekend, and then you stay on the line. We're going to do one question for live callers only.
I'll be very quick with it. It's called Inception, Beyond Mind Control. Is it pickup? No. Is it business? No. Is it relationships? No. It's Inception, Beyond Mind Control. So you're going to come on Saturday to San Jose. I'm going to lecture you all together, maybe 6 hours or so, on some of the techniques that I use to get inside people's minds, and I'm very good at it. Sunday we continue the lectures, and then Sunday night you get an opportunity, the final lecture, to be in my staff meeting and see how I have created 5 businesses and run it with literally 4 people full-time staff is what I have. And you'll be in San Jose, you get to see my base. If you've never been around me in San Jose, you have to see what I've created here. And if you can't make it live, then you could do it online also. Just go to arashzafar.com and register. There's limited space live, and I think I have 2 more slots. I have to check. I have at least two more slots for men, and I have more for women. I have about 6 for women. And this is a man and woman event. When I do my events, it's man and woman. And my last event had more women than men, so think about that also. Inception, Beyond Mind Control. It's nothing like you've ever seen before. If you're interested in things like hypnosis and mesmerism and ESP and shit like that, I'm going to show you things. I will demonstrate it. I'll give you techniques that you apply right away. And, this is what it is. When I start speaking, if I want to, nothing can resist my speech. So I'm going to give you some techniques. Of course, there's a lot of techniques, but there'll be enough where you could go back with some tools in your hand to make your speech deadly, or you can grab people's subconscious minds quickly, as I just did yours. So if you want to come, go to arashzafar.com or just send me a message and get a hold of me. But it's coming up very fast, okay? That's it for Inception.
Okay, gentlemen, pleasure to have you, and thank you, brother. Live callers, stay on the line.
You've been listening to The Real Kings of Pickup with Vince Hollywood Kelvin and Arash motherfucking Dibazar. Brought to you by www.globalslr.com. Call live every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to get your questions answered. Just dial 701-801-1220. Then enter 129-779-160, followed by the pound key. To get your free pickup starters kit, go to www.seductioncoaching.com now. And remember, stay sexy.